What is good and what is poppin', babies? It's your boy Imi all up in your screens again, and welcome to another study tips video. Guys, this video is going to be about how to study many subjects without feeling overwhelmed. Especially when it's exam season, you definitely need these tips to actually go through your exam season without breaking down. So if you haven't checked out my other video on how to get a distinction in physics, please do go check it out. And if you haven't checked out the video on how to study after school when you're tired and study effectively and productively, also check that out. So without any further ado, let's get into this video. So the first tip I have for y'all is to split your subjects into groups. If you're in high school and you're taking 7 subjects, for example, you can split those subjects into 2 groups. The first group being that it has 4 subjects and the other has 3 subjects. Or you could split them into 3 groups, where the first group has 2, the second group has 2, and then the third group has 3 subjects. You get me? But you have to split your subjects into groups because you can't study 7 subjects at once. It's just impossible, not unless you're supernatural. So anyways, when you break down these, or when you divide these subjects into groups, take this into account. You cannot study mathematics and physical sciences in one group because those are practice-based subjects and it might overwhelm you. You should mix the subjects which you put in a certain group. For example, you could mix in life sciences, English, and then accounting maybe, you see, so that you can have balance in between your subjects. You cannot study study-based subjects in one group, for example, history, life sciences, economics. You cannot. You have to mix your subjects into groups that won't overwhelm you or won't burn you out. So you have to study one group a day. So what you're going to do is that you should have 2 sessions in one day. The first session being that you actually study the material which you want to have on your mind, which you want to cram. You actually study the material of those certain subjects of that specific group you're going to be studying that day. Maybe this session you could have in the morning or a little bit in the afternoon. And then you should have a second session. The second session will then be on practicing questions, practicing past papers, practicing exercises on the information which you had been studying earlier. You get me? So you should have 2 sessions in one day. Don't have one session and think, okay, I studied. You can't study today and then do practice questions tomorrow because the likeliness is that you won't even remember all of the stuff. Whereas we want to test your grasping skills here if you know how to actually lock and consume information in your mind. You get me? So the recap of the first tip is that firstly, you need to divide your subjects into groups, and in a certain group, do not mix subjects of the same niche. You should have different subjects in a specific group. For example, you could mix in economics, mathematics, and English. You should also have 2 sessions in a day. The first session being that you study the material which you want to know, and then the second session in that day being that you practice past papers, exercises on the information which you had consumed earlier. Coming on to the second tip, which is to have a routine. Now, under this tip, you have to have a timetable. We all know that for you to actually study productively, you have to have a timetable so that you can keep track rather of the subjects which you had been studying and the subjects which you want to study. So the first thing you need to do is to discipline yourself. You might have a timetable right now and you might think that no, this timetable is not working for me. Can you come up with another study tip that doesn't include having a timetable? Come on guys, let's face it, you're not disciplined. When it's time for you to study, you just watch television or scroll on TikTok, right? Now, you have to discipline yourself, have a routine which you're going to follow daily. You have to actually discipline yourself into following that timetable, because the reason that that timetable is not working for you is because you don't want it to work for you. If you wanted that timetable to work for you, it was going to work for you. The timetable should be realistic, guys, and it should be constructed in a way that it can accommodate fallacies. For example, if you had an inconvenience, your transport ran late, you had to suddenly run errands, and now that disrupts your study timetable, you should have a certain space where you can fit those things into. You get me? For example, if I know that today I was going to study at 2 p.m. but at 2 p.m. I had to run errands, then of course I should have space to actually fit in that studying throughout this day. For example, you can sacrifice watching television for 2 hours and studying what you wanted to study earlier in the day. You get me? So your study timetable should be realistic, guys. These are the things that demotivate you to not follow your study timetable when something such as an inconvenience happens and then you lose track of the time. You get me? You should also guys, you should also know when you are most productive. Other people are productive in the morning, other people are productive in the afternoon, during the day, or at night. Now, you should identify when you're most productive, because that is when you actually can study and consume information. That is when you can study. It's the only time you can study and actually grasp the information that you want to know. That is when you can be attentive and focus on your study. Now, if you know that you are most productive in the morning, you should study in the morning. If you know that you're most productive in the afternoon, study in the afternoon. And if you know that when you are a night owl, when I was discovered study ebusuku and master your studies. So study tip number 3 is to have techniques. Have techniques, guys. These are the things that just enhance your studying and help you to actually be motivated to study. You get it? So the first thing you could do is to have a study partner. When you have a study partner, it doesn't mean that it's necessary for you all to study together at the same space at the same time. You get me? You can have a study partner that's just going to hold you accountable if you did not study. For example, I'd have sessions with my friends over WhatsApp. We'd create a WhatsApp group and then we'd study at our homes. You get me? But if you had a question you wanted to ask or something you did not understand, you'd get into the WhatsApp group and be like, okay guys, I'm at this topic and I don't understand this and this and that. Could someone who has a better understanding of it explain it for me? You get me? So those are the things that could help you have study partners, guys. It really, really helps, because fine, you would know certain information. You would study and be like, okay, I understand this. But then a friend of yours asks, quick group here in guys, can someone give me clarity on this and this and that? And then a certain member of the group gives clarity to that person. You could actually gain some information you did not know. Maybe they'd include examples you did not know, examples which could advantage you when you're writing an exam. You get me? Okay, guys. Number 2. You have to have study breaks. Guys, there's nothing as satisfying as rewarding yourself with a break. Reward yourself with a break. So guys, the last thing is to prioritize subjects which you find hard or subjects which you find difficult without neglecting the easier subjects, because those easier subjects you should prioritize subjects which you're struggling with, because at the end of the day, what will it help if you study English whereas you're struggling with mathematics? Do you get me? So we have reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing for more content like this, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up and turn on that post notification bell so that you do not miss any of my future uploads. And lastly, please follow me on my social media platform. It is at @Ika_Imi on Instagram. Until the next one, I am out.
They search me out and then they go.